Hello, welcome to the BetterAMS YouTube channel. My name is Jess and I'm one of the ad specialists here at BetterAMS. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of a full funnel marketing strategy. If you are new here and you've never been on our YouTube channel and you're not following us yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We also have a podcast, Better Advertising with BetterAMS, where we talk about all things retail media, Walmart, Amazon, you name it. We cover it and we interview a lot of cool people. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and scan that QR code so that you can stay up to date when we release a new episode. All right, so some of the things I'm going to be covering today. What is a full funnel marketing strategy? Do you have one? And how do you build one if you don't have one? Let's dive right in with the first point of action. What is a full funnel marketing strategy? How we kind of like to break it up here is awareness, consideration, purchase, retention. What do those things look like? Well, on the awareness side, you got to think of exposure via inbound marketing, catching people kind of a little off guard with your product, your brand, when they don't know they need it, right? We want them to consider that they might need your product, and need/want, because it can be both, right? So a consumer realizes their need for your product or want, then they move into the consideration phase. The potential customer determines whether a product matches their needs. And once they do, once they know it's aligned, then they move on down to that purchasing phase. Once they're in that purchasing stage, they are in that kind of sweet spot, they're ready to buy. So once we move them down to the retention phase, we obviously want to keep them there. And a few things to keep in mind for that is we want good customer service. We want convenience, fulfillment, price, and quality. And we'll go over that a little deeper in the other slides. Awareness. When I think of awareness, TV, commercials, magazines, newspaper, billboards, social media, obviously one of the bigger ones nowadays. So these are things people are being entertained, they're driving, they're going about their day to day, and they see your brand. That plants the seeds, puts your brand top of mind, puts your product top of mind. So then when they realize their need/want, they've now been influenced/made aware of your brand. So we have them right where we want them. And without that top of funnel, you might not be in the consideration phase, and another brand will be there because they build out their awareness. So they're in that consideration phase. They know they need/want, but we're going to give the example of someone that knows they need something, right? They've opened the fridge. I'm out of milk. I know I need to go to the store and get milk. So they go to the appropriate aisle, appropriate category. Now, it's a little bit of a decision-making process. One, the product they normally buy, the brand, could be out of stock. That brand that they normally buy would have that retention part of the funnel broken because they didn't take into consideration to have enough inventory to make sure they're fulfilling their customers' needs. So if the brand I normally buy is out of stock, I'm now going to have to seek another brand. And then I'm going to have to make decisions that I already made with my prior brand all over again. What's the ingredients? What's the price? Is it on sale? What flavor do I want? All things to take into consideration when making a purchase, right? Keeping that in mind, let's say the brand I normally buy is not out of stock and it's right here in front of me. I still now have to think, though, if another brand's on sale, I might want to try it. So these are ways you can grab a buyer from your competitor, grab a consumer from your competitor by implementing some of these strategies. So a lower price or a sale, a different variation, something that makes you better than the competitors, you might be able to snag away. So now that we're in that consideration phase, you want to make sure you have it really built out so that you can compete with your competitors. Still in that consideration phase, trying to decide, once that decision's made, we're in the purchasing phase. What does that look like? Not much is going to pull someone away once they've decided, this is the product I'm going with. It aligns with my dietary needs. The ingredients are good. The price is right. I want to go ahead and give this a try. So unless on the way to the cash register or while they're putting it in their cart, someone mentions, hey, I've tried that. It's not good. Kind of like a review if you relate it to the e-commerce side. And it's like you're now thinking, maybe I shouldn't make this purchase. So that might cause you to remove the product. Other thing, if you go up to the cash register, you scan it, they say it's a different price than what was marked, you might change your mind. If another product on the way to the checkout grabs your attention, that could cause you to change your mind. Now, if we go more on the want side and not the need side, there's a lot of other things that can kind of pull you away from hitting that buy button and making that purchase. So keeping all that in mind, these are things you have to take into consideration when building out your full funnel. But now we move into the retention phase. Several things we want to make sure when retaining a customer: quality of product, of course, brand authority, staying top of mind, making sure we have that awareness going on, that top of the funnel, so our competitors aren't stealing away the attention of our now loyal, hopefully, customer. So adequate inventory, we already talked about that. Customer service, if they have a problem with their product, quick customer service, replace it, whatever. Make sure that experience is top notch. Convenience and price. So now, do you have a full funnel marketing strategy? Well, let's find out. Are you showing your product/brand to people that don't know they need it? If the answer is no, well, we need to fix that. Once they know they need your product, where is your product showing up? If they have to scroll through 20 other products, remember they're in the consideration phase. If they have to scroll through 20 other brands before they see yours, what's the odds are you're going to win their buy? That's probably not going to happen. So keep that in mind. Is your listing optimized for conversion? Will it be able to win the sale once they click on your ad, right? So we don't want, just like a consumer that put the product in the cart and they're on their way to cash register, what if something else grabs their attention, or they see a bad review, or there's not enough information while they're maybe reconsidering, they're standing there waiting to buy that product. They're rereading the ingredients. Maybe there's not enough information on that product to make sure it aligns with their needs and makes them feel trust in the brand, makes them feel like it's what they need, right? So we want to make sure on the listing side that your listing has all the information that's going to answer the potential consumer's questions. So any question that might arise when that consideration process is going on, we want to make sure that it's answered on the listing. So as soon as you win that click, you have them halfway there, right? You need them to hit that buy button, and making sure your listing answers all those questions and really impresses them and wins them over and builds that trust. It's super important. If someone has purchased your product and wants to buy it again, how easy will it be for them to find your product? If I run out of said product that I've already bought from your brand and I type in your brand name because I want to buy it again, maybe I don't know how to go to my purchase history, or maybe I just have my phone and I grab it and I type in your brand and I want to reorder it. If it's not coming up top placement on Amazon, then it's giving my competitors opportunity to win my customer, right? If I type in your brand name, if your brand name is Tide, and I type that in and you're not coming up top of page, another product could win my click because I don't see you there. And, my attention's grabbed by maybe a flashier brand, or maybe they, in their title, they call out something that I know Tide doesn't do or have. So these are things you need to take into consideration. Make sure you have good brand coverage. So I see your brand immediately. I already have trust in it. I click on it, I make a purchase, and I don't have time to get distracted by another brand. So if the answer to all these questions were that you have good coverage and you don't feel like you have any areas to improve, good job. You don't need to finish the rest of this video. But if you feel like I am not covering all these areas, my funnel's a little broken, and maybe it's weak in one area or the other, then stick around, because I'm going to kind of give you an overview of how you can apply this to Amazon and how you can strengthen your full funnel marketing on Amazon. So how do we build a full funnel marketing strategy on Amazon? The example product we're going to use is this pre-workout by Genius. A few things to ask yourself. If this was your product, or any product really, this is a question I ask myself when I help out brands, some of the brands I manage. I always kind of go through these questions when I'm building out strategy for them. What problem does my product solve? Who has this problem? What makes me better than my competitors? Why is my brand better? And if it's not better, how can it be better, right? What is the long-term goal for my brand? Is it a 1-year goal? Am I trying to just make a lot of sales and then resell it to someone else? If that's the case, the strategy is going to be different. If it's a 10-year goal, I want to be the number one product in pre-workout in the next 10 years. Well, that's going to shift the strategy that we put into place for you. If it's you're okay with being, second best, third best, or you're just trying to get a piece of the pie, that's a conversation you need to have with your team, because your strategy you're putting into place is going to look different. And that's another video for another time, but just keep that in mind when you're asking yourself questions because it does matter for your strategy. So for that awareness stage, audience targeting is one thing we can do to build out that awareness. Yes, this isn't going to get good conversions. It's not going to crush your sales, but it is building out that awareness so that you are putting your brand in front of people that may not know it exists or may not know they need it / want it. So when you look at exercise and fitness, right? This is an audience we'd want to get in front of if we had a pre-workout. That's a 9 million to 10 million amount of audience, right? So we're getting in front of 9 million / 10 million people that are interested in fitness. That's huge. And then on the other side, athleisure. That's another very relevant to pre-workout, 8 to 9 million. 700 to 800K in interest in fitness. So these are all things that we could set up to build out that awareness. You don't have to put a super large amount of budget in there, but you do need to have that worked into your strategy. Right place, right time. What does this look like? So I typed in the search term dumbbells, and this brand is showing me an organization cart for my home gym. They know if I'm buying dumbbells, I probably am trying to set up a home gym, or I have some space I'm working out at home. If I go to the gym regularly, I'm probably not going to be buying dumbbells, right? I have them at the gym. But they are positioning themselves at a placement where they know that the person that's buying dumbbells most likely will need to organize their space. Very smart, right? They're building out their awareness. They're putting themselves in front of someone that doesn't know they need their product yet. And you could do this with pre-workout, right? Same search term, we could put a video with our Genius pre-workout right here on dumbbells so that we're letting new audience be aware that we exist and they should try us. DSP is another great tool for awareness and one of my favorites because you can get very granular on who you're targeting, right? You can say we want them to be interested in fitness and we want them to be interested in natural products, right? The Genius pre-workout is very much a natural side of pre-workout. So we can get more targeted and niched on who we're getting in front of. And we have a video on DSP. I highly recommend if you're unaware of what it is or how it can benefit you, check out that video. I'll try to link it in the comment, or not in the comments, in the description. Here is an example of what DSP ads look like. You can use a lot of beautiful custom creatives and you can have them show up on the sidebar, on listings, on different Amazon platforms. So if you're, like I said, if you're interested in that, you should check out the other video. So kind of moving a little bit more down the funnel, pre-workout. It's still kind of top of funnel, but they're in the consideration phase if they're typing that in, right? They've seen an ad, they've seen your brand. Somehow you've grabbed their attention when they didn't know they were even in the market for pre-workout. Now that they are, they want to know what brand they should choose. So they're going to type in pre-workout and they're going to start doing that research / consideration product alignment phase. So if I land on here when I'm thinking about buying pre-workout, I'm automatically going to be impressed. The brand authority that is most prominent on this page is C4, right? They're doing the best job right now impressing me. They have this beautiful custom image. They have 2 sponsored product placements. They're impressive, right? And we scroll on down. They have a video placement as well and 2 other sponsored product with different flavors. So they're doing a really good job of dominating pre-workout. So am I going to consider other brands? Well, that depends. Maybe this particular product, if I click in, doesn't fulfill my needs. And I'm going to realize, hey, I actually want a more natural pre-workout. So that's what I'm going to type in next. And thankfully, our product does show up on this page, right? So if I was the product / brand manager for Genius pre-workout, I would be happy to see this, but I'd also be concerned of why we don't have a beautiful creative image on such a relevant keyword and we're only showing up once. Now, a lot of people are concerned about cannibalizing their sales, right? You know, why do I need to show up 3 times in the top placement? You don't. But at the same time, do you want to let other competitors steal away the attention when you have a potential buyer in that consideration phase? It's risky, right? If you're already making an investment, maybe you should just invest a little more and have a higher conversion rate because of that. Because there's not much brand authority going on this page. This other brand, Honey Badger, has much more brand authority. And if I've never bought a pre-workout, my attention's going to that brand. It's not going to Genius. Scroll on down, same thing. Honey Badger shows up 2 more times. And then you have a sponsored brands by this other brand, a sponsored brand video placement. For Genius pre-workout, they didn't check the box here. And odds are they're probably not going to get my purchase because my attention's not drawn there if I've never really even heard of their brands, especially if they didn't have their awareness built out. And now I'm in that consideration phase. My click is not going to go to them. And if it does, they're going to have to impress me on that listing page for me to go ahead and purchase because they haven't impressed me on the other pages. So going even more granular, maybe I decide, okay, I know I want a natural pre-workout, but I want it to include some nootropics. Genius shows up. That's great. But still, no creative, no custom creatives, only one placement. Scroll down. They're not even here. Further down the page. So same problem with this one. Now, I click into the listing. They do an amazing job impressing me here. They list out their benefits. Their reviews are amazing. So odds are they'll convert if they get the click. But the click-through rate could be improved by kind of padding out the things that I've already mentioned. A sponsor brand video, a sponsor brand creative, more placements with other flavors on the page so that my attention as a consumer looking for pre-workout is not drawn away to a competitor's brand. Now, if I've bought their product, tried their product, I ran out, I'm ready to buy it again. When I type in their brand, they have great coverage, right? My keyword I typed in was Genius pre-workout. It's showing up. They have over 10 placements on this page, and one of them is a sponsored brand video. Now, in your opinion, wouldn't this energy and this budget be much better focused on a high traffic word like nootropics pre-workout or natural pre-workout? I mean, I'm not even saying that they need to have this coverage on pre-workout because that is a little more top of funnel, but something like natural pre-workout or nootropics pre-workout, I would love to see this kind of coverage. And it doesn't even have to be 10 sponsored product placements, but at least 2 or 3 sponsored product and then definitely a sponsored brand video, because that's going to tell the consumer who's in the consideration phase why they need to choose this product. Once the consumer's already tried their product, you don't really have to convince them, right? They're already typed in your brand. They know what they want. So having that sponsored brand video on their branded keyword isn't hurting anything, but it would be better served on one of those top funnel keywords or mid-funnel keywords. So keeping that in mind, for the retention side, if we're now moving down there, some other things that said brand could do, retargeting ads, upselling other products. So on the product page, they could have another flavor or one of their other products. This particular brand has a lot of other nutritional products. So they could, pair that on the page. They could retarget with those other products to this customer because they already have fallen in love with their brand, so they can show them other products. Good subscribe and save offers is another way to keep your customers loyal. All right, so that covers retention. So let's go ahead and just do a little recap before we wrap up here. If we go back to awareness and what that looks like, we want to make sure we have that awareness funnel built out where we're putting our brand in front of people that don't know they need it. So product targeting campaigns with products relevant to your brand, audience targeting based on the problem you are solving, and the consideration phase. Make sure you have that top of search with high volume keywords. Make sure you're top of search for that. Video ads that build trust in your product. So really explain the product or the problem you're solving. Sponsor brand with a cool lifestyle image that really connects with your audience. In the purchasing phase, we want to make sure we have those long tail, very high relevant keywords covered with top of search, strong listings that support the problem you're solving. So once you earn that click and you have the customer's attention, you want to make sure that you get them to convert. Once they're a customer, you want to make sure you get that retention. So good brand coverage, retargeting campaigns, and good loyalty incentives. I think that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to book a call with me or just drop them in the comments and we'll be sure to get back with you as soon as possible. And I look forward to speaking with you next time. Have a great day.